Hello, everybody. It's Marcy from wavesofcommunication.com with another episode of Live Q&A here on Facebook today. So while I'm waiting for a few folks to join me, I have some questions prepared. And if you are joining, go ahead and put your question in the comment. And I want to go ahead and let you all know about the exciting opportunities that are available for you to work with me and save some money here at the end of 2019. So just like a lot of other people are doing this time of year, I decided to go ahead and have another gratitude sale to let people know how pleased I am that you are interested to invest to work with me as a one-on-one speech pathologist and language facilitation consultant. So what I am offering right now is a discount on my Language Facilitation Basics Independent Study course. It is a full course that's online. It's a series of videos. If you've seen my introductory class, they are videos along a similar way. There are slides, there are worksheets and activities that you do to help you do your own analysis and figure out what's going on to block your child's natural spoken language. And then you create your own plan and you learn how to move through all of the phases of developmental spoken language. So it's a developmental language approach, and the course is comprehensive. It takes you all the way through for kids who are nonverbal, who aren't even responding to you, kind of like I'm going to be talking about on this video today, and kids who, all the way up through kids who have needs-based language, who all levels, to get you all the way up and take your child through each of the developmental levels and beyond, because there's even a bonus module that has social communication information on it. So there is the class, and the class also, the online course, also guides you in how to use the online resources here, like these Q&A sessions, to get additional guidance. So you get the training with the course, and then you're guided to come here to these Q&A sessions to give you a way to work with me. Generally, you can give me your question, and I don't know anything about your child individually, but I can give you guidance as far, and that's what I try to do on these Q&As. So I know many of you who are watching me are folks who are in my independent study course, and if you're not, now is your chance to get that independent study course for $50 off. That means it's only $450 US for the whole comprehensive training right now. And in addition to the dollar discount, I am giving you the opportunity to get a free video analysis and 60-minute coaching session. If you register between now, the full moon is when I set it to go live, the full moon and through the end of the year. As soon as 2020 hits, the sale goes away. And with the sale, the bonus is the opportunity for me to watch some video of you working with your child after you start the program. I can't do your whole analysis and explain everything to tell you how to do in a 60-minute session. That's why I don't even sell hourly sessions. But as a bonus for you, once you start the independent study course and you're in it and you go through and you create your own plan, that's when you book your consulting session with me to make sure that you're on track, because the course is independent study. It teaches you how to do everything yourself. And it is for folks who can't afford to work with me to figure it out for you. In my face-to-face programs, I look at video and I do the whole analysis for you. I give you your entire blockage list of the things that are blocking your child's communication and teach you how to move through each of those blockages with specific strategies in your home. The independent study course teaches you how to navigate that and find it yourself. With the sale, you just get the extra benefit of confirmation after you've started, where you, on that session, you would tell me what you have been doing in the course, and I would let you know if those things are on track and give you your next strategies to help you get going from where you are. And that's what's offered just now between the full moon, which will happen on 12/12, on 12/12, and the end of the year. So if you are interested in getting in on that and having, this way you can learn and get real confirmation about it. Now, I did get a question from somebody on my YouTube channel who had purchased my course last month, and they asked if they get this. No, this is just for people who are signing on between now, the full moon, and the end of the year. So if you're watching on the replay, the sale with the bonus video consulting session with me goes away on January 1st, 2020. Now, it also comes with a free copy of the book. So if you did buy my course in the past month, if you bought it in November or even October, because that's when the book was released, and you didn't get a free copy of my book, then you should reach out to me in an email, marcy@wavesofcommunication.com, and I'll confirm that you've purchased it, and I will send you out a copy of the book or give you a Audible copy if you prefer. So if you already have purchased the course, then you get that book with it. If you purchase it now, in addition to the course itself and the consult with me, and you get a copy of my book. So if you don't know, this is my book. It's called If It Isn't Fun, It Isn't Fun. Teach Your Child to Talk Faster Than Speech Therapy. If you don't want to invest in the course and take advantage of the sale, then you can get this book right now on Audible and on Amazon. It's available right now. You can buy it. This book has the process to teach you how to get through. It's not nearly as comprehensive as the whole $500 course, but it is the starter. So you can do this. And then in between the book and the online course, I am offering, this is the first one that we're doing. It's called the Communication Switch Workshop. And this workshop is happening. It is a live online workshop for those of you who live everywhere but Mumbai. It's going to be live in Mumbai, but it is going to be live stream everywhere else. And I am your online host with the live stream of the Communication Switch Workshop. Now, this workshop is happening. It's at night because it's live in Mumbai, which is 10 and a half hours ahead of me here in Florida. So in Florida, or the East Coast of the United States, it's 11:30 p.m. So it's going to be overnight. It's a 2-3 hour workshop that you're going to be able to come overnight. So while your kids are sleeping, you can log in, get your glass of wine or whatever. It is a way appropriate for you to attend that workshop with your spouse, your partner, your baby daddy, whoever is helping you in your household, even your parents. If you live with your folks or your folks live with you, then they could also tune in for this workshop. And listen, the workshop fee is only $30, 30. For $30, your whole family could participate in this fun online workshop. Now, this is a basic level workshop designed for parents and caregivers to help you learn how to identify blockages in your household and adopt the mindset of a language facilitator. It's very philosophical, even though it's two speech pathologists who are providing this course. And we know the science, we know the background, we know all the stuff that it takes for families to learn how to teach their kids. But we also have learned over the years what's blocking families' progress. And we have figured out how to put together a super fun interactive workshop online called Communication Switch. And you're going to be able to join and participate with us, ask questions about your child, and you will leave the Communication Switch workshop with a plan in your hand. You come with your paper and pencil. You're going to do the workshop activities and create your own plan yourself to take your child to the next level. So it's a way to get started. It's a way to get more information about your child and your family and how to figure out and make your own plan. That's the Communication Switch Workshop. All the links for all the things that I've talked about are in the description of this video. So you can go down and check out all the links. You can go to the book website. You can go to the Communication Switch website. You can go to the Language Facilitation Basics website, and you can register for all of those things right now, today. Go right now and check them out. Come back to this video if you want or whatever. I really want everybody to look at the information, because these workshop opportunities and training opportunities are so comprehensive that you can learn the whole process yourself for a fraction of the cost of speech therapy. Speech therapy co-pays for a few months is thousands of dollars, and this is less than $500. I can't even imagine what you would spend that money on that you couldn't get this level of value. So I know many of you are watching for free and following my stuff, and you can't afford the $500 course. Buy the book, come to the workshop. Figure out how to do this, because the truth is, I just had my meeting with all the families that I do twice a week in my Waves of Communication community, and every one of those parents is finding amazing new language. One mom just told me she's only been in about 6 months maybe, and her little guy was just telling her stories about things that happened outside of her sight. I mean, that's the dream of every late talking parent, right? That you can get your child to actually tell you about things with specifics that you didn't see when they were somewhere else. These kids are enjoying social experiences when they wouldn't talk to anybody. They are sharing information, the incredible wisdom that's in their minds. And I know that this is how parents do it with language facilitation, and they use these easy strategies. Quit working so hard and make things easy. That's how it goes with language facilitation. So I see there's a whole bunch of folks joining me now. What I'm ready to do is get into the questions. So if you have a question, hi Nikki and Boopinger and Lisbeth, please go ahead and write it in the comments section, and then I will get to those questions. And so the title of this video is How to Work with Kids When They Are Resisting, they don't want to work with you, they're what you're trying everything and trying to make it fun, even trying to do all this stuff, but your child isn't having it. Like, they're not interested in working with you, they're not interested in talking, they are only interested in whatever they are interested in, and they don't want to do anything that you want to do. And this is very, very common for children who are late talking kids. So hey, Rena says, I'm watching you and sharing this video at the same time in my autism groups. Thank you, Rena. Woohoo. And hi to all of you who are watching in autism groups. If you haven't watched me before, my name is Marcy Melzer, and I'm an intuitive speech pathologist and language facilitation consultant. And in these videos, I help parents teach their kids how to talk. And what I do, so I have collected some questions, and the reason that I decided to do the title of this video, I identified this situation, is because two of the questions that I have going on today in my Q&A are relating to this. And so what I want to do is I want to start by talking about these family stories that they're sending to me. And the first one is by Betsy, who says, please help me, as my son's 6-year-old, mild to moderate autistic, is least interested in learning to talk. Very quick to be disinterested in ideas I come up with learning to talk, and I am running short of ideas on helping him to initiate talking or do any activity we give him to perform. My son do not eat many food, but not fruits except bananas. My son does, I think she means does, eat many foods, but not fruits except bananas. Okay, so that's one question. So this mom is concerned, obviously, that she is trying things to get her child to talk. I don't know what she's trying. She's just saying that she has ideas, but he's not interested in them. And that's enough to know that it's time for a change, or potentially, like we talk about in the workshop, a communication switch about what's going on in your life. And here's another one, okay, that I'm going to talk about, because both of these parents, these questions, these scenarios, will respond to the answer that I have. So the next one is from Laurent, who says, hello, I'm from Costa Rica, and though there are language barriers, I think the issue with late talkers is independent of the language. You're right, it is. So for sure with late talkers. Excuse me. My son is 26 months old. He has been evaluated, but even by, I think she's right, stimulated is the word. He's been stimulated, or his language has been stimulated, even by a speech therapist, but he only pronounces sounds and doesn't articulate more than a couple of words. Though in the past, he said some words, dad, milk, hello. He hasn't repeated those words in months. Nowadays, he is saying hello again. So he said words before, not saying them now. And when I ask him to repeat a word, he denies to do so with his head. He doesn't say no or yes, but he just probably looks away or does something like that, or shakes his head no. He's improving on the vowels, and he can now produce some animal sounds. He has been willing to produce animal sounds, but before a couple of weeks ago, he used to mimic the animal sound without opening his mouth. For some animals, he still does. Okay, so he can say words because he has said them. He can say animal sounds, but he kind of wants to hide his mouth about it. And then the other thing she says is he calls his dad and I the same way, mama. So he calls everybody mama, mom and dad anyway, and calls everything else nana. So if he wants something, he'll say nana, even though he does eat, I think she said that, or the other one, I don't know, that was the other one who says eats bananas, but maybe he likes bananas, or nana is just the noise that he uses, na, 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 like that. Several months ago, when I used to ask him to talk, his body language kept saying, I'm embarrassed. He used to cover his face with his hands or with a blanket or leave to avoid the situation. So he does, several months ago, she used to ask him to talk, and then he started to avoid it. And now she says, I've tried everything I can, even not giving him milk, his preferred beverage, for days, waiting for him to say milk, and that didn't work. Your inputs and feedback are much appreciated. So that's the situation that happens with most late talkers, right? We know that kids are late talking because they are using other things to communicate. And if these kids are, in both these parents' age, one is a 6-year-old and the other one is a 26-month-old. So a 2-year-old and a 2.5-year-old and a 6-year-old, and they're both in the same situation. The parents are trying very hard with some expectation of their child to say words, okay? Because clearly in both of these stories, the parents are trying to get the kids to say words. They're asking them to say words. They're modeling even sounds of words. And this is what speech therapists do to prove that they're working, that what they're doing is working, is they get kids to say words. Now, getting kids to say words in exchange for anything, an object or an action or a food or an anything, is teaching your child that sound, that word that comes out of your mouth, is the thing they need to do. They need to say that word to get the object, okay? If you're teaching that way, like waiting for your child to say milk because they don't have milk available. Sorry, I need a little drink. Excuse me. Okay, you want to hear me swallowing? Okay, all right, everybody. So if your child is not responding to what you are doing, There are only two reasons that they don't say these words. So if you are prompting your child to say words, if you are asking your child to say words, if you are modeling words, it's a cup. Say cup. Cup. Say cup. Or you're withholding the object and saying, I'll give you the cup when you say cup, or at all. Like I said, your expectation as a parent is for your child to be initiating and saying words. Now, for a late talking child, a parent needs to give up that expectation of your child to say the words that you are expecting, that you are thinking for them to say. Like if you're holding the cup or the milk or whatever, you expect them to say cup or milk or whatever it is, because you are thinking about that word and you are expecting your child to say it. It's your expectation. Now, for both of you parents and any other parents who have a child in this situation, and you are asking your child to say words and they are not responding to that request or prompt, I want you to put yourself in your child's shoes. Think about the situation right now when that last happened to you. For example, if you were holding out the milk and you know your child says milk, your child said milk 100 times, and they won't say it either unless you say milk and they'll say it, or they just won't. They'll walk away. You just say milk, and they'll just walk away and ignore it. They'll wait for you to somehow give them the milk without them trying to talk. Think right now in your head about the last time that happened to you, where you asked your child to say a word and they refused. And put yourself in your child's shoes. First of all, your child had already non-verbally communicated to you that they wanted that thing. They pointed to it, they drug you to it, they whatever, okay? And they knew that you understood them because you either got that object or you were holding it in front of them or something. So your child has communicated to you that they want this thing. They see that you understand them because you're holding that thing that they desire in their hand, but somehow you're not giving it to them, okay? And if your child is not responding, you have to consider the fact that your child doesn't understand why you are not giving them that object. Because if they previously 500 times before, they made a noise and milk arrived without them having to say, Mommy, may I have some milk, please? You gave them that object before, or they got it themselves before, or previously one other time, non-verbally it worked. You said the word, they said the word. So the child is just waiting for you to give it to them. They don't understand why the object isn't arriving. So they may consider this, assume that you are refusing or teasing them. I know you want this thing, but I'm not going to give it to you. Okay? They don't understand that there is some criteria or job or activity or performance, just like one mom said, why he won't perform for us, because the child consider the fact that he doesn't feel like, why should I have to perform to get milk? Why should I have to perform to get anything? I'm a kid. Stuff usually arrives from my parents. But now all of a sudden, even though the child has been communicating with mom. Now it works for therapists because late talkers who aren't using talking. So maybe at the therapy place, the therapist can say, do you want the pen? Say pen. And the child will say pen and they give it to them. Woo, you did it. And they'll do it 100% of the time for the therapist, or a lot more frequently than they will with you. Why does that happen? Well, because again, the child doesn't know that the therapist knows what they want, because the therapist isn't their mom. They know you know what they want. They know you're reading their mind. They know you're guessing because you have guessed 100 times before. And all of a sudden now you've changed the rules and it's become harder for them to get the things they want. And then your child's upset because they want the things they want. They know you have it and you're withholding it for them. So the only time your child would refuse to try to get it from you is if they felt somehow put down, or, what you're doing is not good enough, or I'm teasing you, or I'm just never going to give it to you. They don't know. They don't know, because all they know is they asked and you're not giving it. Okay. It's a prompt anytime that you have that withdrawal. And so what that teaches kids, if you do that over and over again in your household all the time, is it teaches them, number one, to not come to you at all, to ask for anything, and just go on their own and try their own to get it on their own. They'll wait for you to leave the room and try to sneak and get it on their own if they're older, because they just don't want to go through the hassle of trying to get to talk to you to get the things that they want. Because for their whole lives, however old they are, if they're 2 or 6, just like the 2 moms that are in here, for the whole period of time, stuff's been arriving for them without performance. And then all of a sudden, when things become performance, that's what happens. So what do you need to do? You need to make it fun. You need to make the whole situation completely receptive for your child, because what happens is, as soon as you start to put some other problem solving thing, like, what do I have to do to get this drink now? I have to say a word, I have to do a whatever, and all you want is a drink, right? But you're too busy worrying about, what does mom want from me to get the drink, to even think about the drink or talk about the drink or whatever. So if you're trying to teach your child a new thing, you've got a fab new toy, a new puzzle, a new whatever. But you present it to them with, you got to play this toy my way. Just like you got to get the milk my way. You got to make a request my way. You got to say the words that I want you to hear, or you're not successful. Put yourself in your child's shoes, because that's what they are hearing you say. That's what they're hearing you say. You're saying, wait, I just want to explore this thing and try this thing on my own and explore how it sees. And you're like, no, I don't want you to play by yourself. I want you to play with me my way. And they're like, oh, forget it. I don't want to. They never get a chance to try their own. So I posit to you, if it is happening to you that your child is refusing to do what you ask them to do, think about, what are you asking them to do? Is it reasonable? Is it something that a little child who is nonverbal would want to do on their own so desperately that they will do it without you prompting them? It's likely not. If you are waiting to hear yes or no, or I want a cookie, or hello mommy, or if you are waiting to hear anything, that means that you have expectation of your child to say words. And that's not how natural language works. If we all knew what everybody else was going to say, we would never have conversation with anybody. We'd be like, I know what she thinks. I know what he thinks. I know what they think. Why would we ever talk to them? Right? We talk to kids to explore what they are interested in. But what happens to parents, especially when they get kids who are 6 years old, is they freak out and worry that their kids aren't going to learn language naturally, and they've got to be like the speech therapist and push even harder. So their kids refuse to do it, and what do? They double down. No, this mom didn't give her milk for 3 days. She's like, no, I'm going to force the issue. These are children. Okay, and this is a 2.5-year-old. He doesn't understand your mind games that you're trying to trick him into trying to. No. Children learn to talk from parents by listening to their parents talk to them and talk to each other. And they listen to children talk to each other, and they listen to their neighbors and their grandmas and people on TV and everything. They have to listen to, other people talking in order to learn how language works. And if your child is late talking and you're asking questions, or you're prompting them to do talking or say words ever, then you need to go take the Swapping the Prompting Challenge on my YouTube channel. And take that challenge for 7 days, and you will see a difference in your child, right? If your child if you have no idea what your child is even interested in, then you have to go to my YouTube channel and watch a video that says reach and teach. And if you are really clueless and you have no idea what is blocking your child's talking, then you need to sign up. You need to buy the book. You need to sign up for my independent study course, or you need to work with me to figure it out. Because if you don't figure out what is blocking your child's natural talking, and I'm here to tell you that prompting stuff is a big one, it blocks it. It blocks the process completely. That's why it's the most effective video on my whole channel. Because unless you get rid of the blockages that are stopping your child from talking, you have no idea how powerful they are, these blockages. And when you get rid of them, you also have no idea how powerful you are to get your child talking once you finish. Once you get through these blockages and your kiddo is a better listener, because most late talkers are terrible listeners. In fact, the number one thing that causes most children to be late talking is ear infections or ear fluid that blocks their hearing. It causes them to be visual learners. If your child is using their whole body to communicate, their hands, their facial expressions, everything but their mouth, that means that they are looking at you to understand what's going on. They're not even listening to what you're saying, okay? And to get your child to be able to be a good listener, you need to watch the video that is reach and teach, because you can't teach your child to talk at all unless they will listen to you. That always has to happen first. And it happens pretty quickly. In fact, usually within the first 2 weeks at the most, parents already see their children starting to initiate more talking and say the words that they used to say when they take away the blockages. And whenever I read a story like I did about just at the beginning of this video, when I have parents who have a 6-year-old child who used to say things and then quit, and then would say them when you prompted, but now quit that too, and did say animal sounds but then quit, and then did imitate things and then quit that later too. It goes like this. It's waves, right? Whenever your child is on the high, really focused, listening and learning and watching and able to hear, let's say the ear fluid is gone, right? They're on it. They're focused on you. They can learn like little sponges. I mean, children learn multiple languages at the same time. Even the late talkers in my program are. So this is what's really important for all parents. If your child is not working with you, you must change what you are doing to get your child more interested and not feel pressure. They are feeling pressure from you and of causing them to avoid you. Why else would your child who loves you more than anything, why would they avoid you? Think about it. Put yourself in your child's position and you can find those blockages. What is it that's making him mad? What is it that makes him sad? What is it that makes him aggressive? What is he thinking right now? You're the one that knows because you're the mama or the dad, if you're watching. All right, so there's Nikki who says, hi, Nikki. Hi, Marcy. I was going good with my kid using the strategies you mentioned along with no prompt challenge. Since a week, I have lost myself in other household that I have neglected him. I am scared I'm losing my interest in not being a good language facilitator for my child. Kindly helped. Thank you for also sharing the video. All right, so Nikki, like I just was saying, the whole language development process, the whole life, when you think about life, is just like this. That's one of the reasons we call it waves of communication, because sometimes it comes in waves. Kids will start to talk, like you said at the beginning, and usually right after you stop prompting, for that first few weeks, you see a lot of differences in your child because it's new. But then life gets in the way, and what do? You need to get your next strategies because it's an evolutionary process. And when things start to break down, Nikki, and you are in tune enough with yourself to know, wait a minute, I need to get some new strategies. I need to figure out what's going on. If you're in my program, that's when you come back to a meeting and you talk to me about getting new strategies. If you're not in my program and you're trying to navigate the free services, what you need to do is you need to think about what skills you are trying to facilitate and why you are stuck. always go back to the blockages, because language will continue to develop unless something is blocking it. Is it anxiety? Is it fear? And if you are doing something different because your household, you're busy with the holidays or whatever is going on, that you didn't, get to do the things that you were doing before, and something is different, that's actually a really good lesson for you. It's fabulous information, because you're going to be like, if you stop and think about what is different, my child's different talking. He was not talking so much. I swapped my prompting. Now he's doing better. Wait a minute, life got in the way, and now he's doing X. What did he go back to? What is he missing? And what did you do differently? Because that's what you have to figure out, what's missing. And then the next challenge, Nikki, is, all right, that thing that's missing. Maybe it was slow talking. Maybe I was prompting him. I stopped prompting and I'm slipping and I'm prompting again, whatever. You need to reestablish your plan and think about tomorrow or later today or wherever you are in the world. The next time you interact with your child, what will you do that's going to get you back on track? Will you try slower talking? Will you use something super fun? Will you introduce something new? If you are looking for strategies of ideas to facilitate language in the Language Facilitation Resources group, there it is. In fact, if it's not shared here, it needs to be. I probably didn't get shared. If it's over in the group, hopefully everybody's over here watching. And the thing is, if somebody isn't shared, I don't know if my person's watching. I just realized it's not. Hopefully it's over there getting shared. Anyway, if not, I'll share it after the fact. But when you are realizing that things are breaking down and you need some new strategies, go in the Language Facilitation Resources group under videos. If you go on a laptop or a desktop, a screen, scroll to the bottom and look for the ones where the toys are behind me. And I do tons of video demonstration, how to talk, how to model things, how to use all the stuff that you already have. Toys, books, bath time, in the car, at the mall, tons and tons and tons of videos, dozens of videos of strategies in the Language Facilitation Resources group under videos, right? So if you've read my book, and you've been through the process and you're like, I just don't have any ideas. What can I do to make it fun? How can I make books fun? How can I make puzzles fun? Look at the tip of the week videos. If you see tip of the week on there, that's a good indicator that it's going to be a demo strategies. They are also on YouTube. If you look at the playlist that are strategies videos, summer language facilitation strategies, there's different ones that are specific demo strategies on how to get through things, rainy day strategies, all kinds of them. Get in and look at some of those videos and try it. Just try one new thing, Nikki, tomorrow to get yourself back on track. Your kiddos don't lose language once you start developing it. They have times that they are more quiet or they're not as chatty as others, but everyone on the planet has these times. So that's what you do. So that's how it goes. Everybody has waves. Everybody has waves. So, all right. So hopefully, Nikki, that helped you. If you are feeling blocked, right? My number one strategy for everybody is, if your child is extra energetic, it's either end of the energy spectrum, super, super hyper or super, super in their own world, they're not going to be able to listen and focus on you. You've got to get them back. Strategies together, getting you, listening with them. How do you get your child to listen to you? You have fun and talk about what they're doing and eliminate the pressure. And then they'll play with you because they're your kids. They love you more than anybody. So all of that. So, all right, here's a question from Sharon. Sharon says, hi, Marcy. Hi, Sharon. My daughter uses scripted language. So whatever she remembers in her brain, she would say those words, but she struggles to converse with her sister. For instance, if her sister grabs anything, she simply gets frustrated and yells aloud instead of reaching to me for help. So I prompt her to say words to me. She's 7. I'm really stressed if she will stay and grow up this way. Will she ever recover from autism and be normal like all other kids? Well, first of all, I can't answer that. Will she recover from autism and be like other kids? She'll never be like other kids because she's herself. And every child has superpowers. So Sharon, the first thing that I recommend you do is you check out, if you're not in my course, okay, you really should look at even at least investing in the book, because to learn the process to go through is much more effective, because you can spin your wheels for a long time chasing this strategy or that strategy or this strategy or that strategy. I guide people to start strategies who have kids that aren't extremely stuck. And if you've got a 7-year-old who is stuck in some kind of talking and you don't know how to help them get out, that's when you might want to consider working with me or figuring out what's going on. So what you do, like I said, when you prompt her to say words aloud to you, that is because you are trying to script out her language for her. And she's used to that. And so that's why she's using the scripting language in herself. Remember, children learn the language that they use from what they are hearing and listening to. So if your child hears a lot of two-dimensional talking, if it's video, if it's humans, if it's screens, if it's whatever it is, if they hear a lot of that, I mean, hear meaning focus. Where are they listening? If they're listening to a lot of that stuff and they're not listening to humans, they're going to say the things they listen to. If humans are talking to them and they're giving them a lot of prompts, then they're going to hear directions. Come here, do this, give me your hand, put it in the blue thing, whatever, and questions. Do you want a this? What are you doing there? Where are you going? What's going on, right? All of these prompting kinds of questions. If that's all they're hearing from you, because I promise you that's all they're hearing at school and therapy, because those people, teachers and therapists, must give directions and prompt for answers, because that's how teaching works. I teach you a thing, I give you directions, you try the thing, then I test you, right? So at home, your child is not focused on people talking because they're tired of questions and prompts. And so they're not focused on listening. And if your kids are at school listening to questions and prompts and at home listening to two-dimensional, the thing that they say for fun is going to be the two-dimensional. And if your child is only picking out parts of the things that you're saying, if you're saying, come here and go to the garage, and your child says garage, they're not hearing come here and go to the. They're not hearing it. They're not processing it. They're not putting it into their language banks to use later for their own talking. They can't. Either their processing is too slow for your talking, or they can't hear you, or they're not listening. It's one of those three things. It's the only thing. Because otherwise, if you were talking about something that was interesting to your child, they'd be looking at you. Right? Just like if you go to a class, you're going to talk to the teacher, you're going to look and listen and focus on the teacher if they're talking about a topic that you're interested in. But as soon as they start to talk about something else, your brain goes to, what am I cooking for dinner? And do I have all that stuff in the fridge and whatever, right? Until the person says something or does something interesting enough to pull you out of your head and listen to what they're saying. If your child is only using the phrases that come in their head, nobody's pulling them out. Nobody's pulling them out. They just have the opportunity to say those things that they're doing on their own. And that's where scripted language comes from. Their head. I know those phrases, I memorize those phrases, and they are giving you a phrase to mean something else. It means you need to start over with language facilitation and teach your child the word they need for the things that they do. And I teach you how to do that in the book. So that's how you do it. All right. Thanks for sharing, Sophia, again. And so glad that you're here for the first time. And so Nikki says, oh my God, Marcy, you are an angel. Thank you so much. Thanks for all the wonderful ideas and motivation. We'll follow them sincerely. Mwah. Thank you so much. Good. And we'll get the book, Sharon. Good idea. I think for all you guys, especially if you have an older child, if you're not, prepared to invest in getting someone to work with you to help you figure out where those blockages are to overcome them, you got to dig in and find them yourself, because it's way beyond the physical things, and this whole idea of autism diagnosis on the spectrum, it tells us nothing. Every individual child is unique, and there are children with autism diagnosis, brain injury diagnosis, all different kinds. Global developmental delay, kids from 2 to 15 years old are improving their talking. It's never too late for you to facilitate language with your kiddo. Never too late. All right, so let's see. I want to make sure I have all the questions that I got. Oh, one more. VJ. Hi, VG. VG has an 8-year-old daughter. She has need-based communication labeling, and you're able to make out some phrases and small sentences, which is fabulous. You've been following from about 3 weeks, and you've seen some good changes in your daughter's communication. Excellent. Also, I'm telling you what, people, these strategies work. Every single day I get comments like this. So VG, bravo, and congratulations to you and your 8-year-old because you are on the way to talking. So here's your question. My question is, my daughter is not loud and clear when I'm making her to read books. Some words she says very clearly with clarity, and some words are not clear. I'm not sure if she's not confident in saying words or any oral issues. All right, so VG, it's not oral issues. It's listening issues. Whenever you hear a child, and it's also confidence. So you suggested that if your child is clearly saying excellent speech sound words and you're understanding everything that they're saying, most of the time when they're comfortable, when they're having fun, when it's easy, happy, safe, and fun. If you're in the book, if you read the book, you'll know that's what we always talk about. These strategies, unless they're easy for the child, unless everybody's feeling happy, unless everybody's feeling safe and no pressure, and the whole situation is fun, it isn't fun. And then you're not going to have improvement because there's something blocking the process. Anxiety, fear, pressure, worry, shyness, just refusal, a bad mood. I mean, anything could be in the way to block somebody from talking. People choose to refuse to talk every single day for a million different reasons. When you start to look at that in your children, then you understand how it works a little bit better. Now, for a child who's at needs-based communication and not moving past that, then you need to work with the words, talking confidently in your house with other people in your house and other people that are familiar adults. So encourage your child to do things like small social interactions, pay the man at the store, or giving your ticket for the dry cleaning, something like that, where they have to interact with other people, encourage social interaction at the park, these kinds of things. And if your child's voice changes from quiet and shy to big and loud, depending on where they are, that's a clear indication that it is emotion driven. And you think about, why would you not want to talk? If you're not very good, excuse me, everybody. If you're not very good at talking and you're in a social situation where there's other people who are very good at talking, you might want to just be quiet and listen because you want to learn from that person. You want to learn how they're talking. And that's what a lot of late talkers do. They are clams in social situations, not because they're shy and they don't want to talk, but because they want to listen. They want to learn what these other kids are doing. They want to hear how that slang talk goes. They want to see how successful kids are socially. And so they might find themselves, you might see your late talker sort of standing there with their mouth hanging open, like that, watching all the party go on around them. They're just taking it all in, all right? And if that happens to you, just go up to your child and be their party buddy. Talk to them about the party. Wow, this is a fun party, right? Look at the sounds, listen to the sounds, look at the lights, let's dance. Encourage your child to come out of their shell and participate, okay? And that's the strategies that you use. But communication evolves. We talked about this like a wave. There's always going to be better days that you hear a ton of talking and other times not so much because life gets in the way. But remember, even bad situations are a great opportunity to facilitate language. So if your child falls down and skins their knee, or some kid takes something away from them, like their sibling even, then talk about that situation with your child and the sibling, and you're like, wow, that's a bummer. I mean, call it out for what it is. Ooh, that's not nice. That's a bummer when that happens to you. And I love that word bummer, because when you give a word to a feeling that a child has, like a frustration, then that word replaces any behavior that they used to use to communicate that feeling. So if they were frustrated and they used to kick the door every time they got frustrated, and then you said, wow, you are frustrated. You are frustrated. You don't want this, or whatever's going on. You're going to have less of that door kicking, because the child kicks the door or does some behavior just because they want you to understand them. That's all they do in life. They want you to understand their communication. And you as parents do, and you're the ones that can interpret it and turn it into language. All right. It is getting to be long for this video. Thanks so much for joining me, everybody. Fabulous questions today. Sharon says, I'm really amazed the way you figure out the reasons. I appreciate your help. Sharon, I hope you start to follow my information. And if you don't know, I have a free class. I've got a thing here, wavesofcommunication.com, free introductory class, right? Wavesofcommunication.com. Go there. Check out the class. It's free. It will teach you about this whole process and what's going on. I left the speech therapy system because I know speech therapy doesn't teach kids natural language learning. This is way more like linguistics and foreign language learning than it is speech therapy, and it works. Everybody, it works. It's amazing the results that I'm seeing in families. It makes me emotional to think about it. So with the big sales that I have going on right now, the book available, the online course sale for cheap that you can actually communicate with me, the way you can use the book with these live Q&As like the other moms that are here, like Nikki. I'm so glad you're all joining me on these Q&As. This is why I do it. It is my mission to help as many parents as possible. Teach your children how to talk. You can do it. Use these resources. This is what I do in my life. I spend my whole life doing this. And all day, every day, I talk to parents about language facilitation. And that's what I love, because I know that it works and I know you can do it. All right, everybody, I'm going to boogie out of here for now. I'll see you on YouTube on Monday at noon. So go out and try some strategies, and then come over on YouTube on Monday and let me know how they're working in the comments, like the moms here. Join me back. It's your way to get free coaching and consulting. Just follow me on Facebook and YouTube. Hit the like button, everybody who's watching this video. Please like. Share it out if you are on YouTube or whatever, and you know somebody who could benefit from this massive deal. You can save thousands of dollars over speech therapy, everybody. Thousands of dollars. So a mom from the UK who was in my program was just telling me about these crazy machines that they're putting on kids, and supplements and all these other things that they think are going to get their kids talking, and they may help their kids feel better, but only parents. Parents are the best language facilitators. You're the ones that can do it. I'm proving it with families all over the world. Be part of the wave of communication, and I'll see you all. Thanks for all the likes, shares, and subscribes, everybody, and all your love. Have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy the full moon. It's the full moon in Gemini for those of you who are astrology buffs. Gemini is all about communication, so lots of communication energy today on the planet. Ride it out for the next month and get your kids talking. Use it. Use all the energy you can. That's what we help with everybody in Waves of Communication. All right. Thanks again, everybody, for joining. All right. Sophia says you're going to check out what I have. I'm so great. I don't know about your feed, but I'm okay. Great. Thank you so much. Bye, guys. I'll see you next time.